good afternoon, and welcome to another edition of my ongoing series on domestic terrorism here in Canada. Last video I shot, I mentioned that I would be talking in some detail about Dave Vassy, a known domestic terrorist in Canada, who took his own life back in and around the new year. I decided that I'm still going to do that, but I'm going to hold off on that one for next episode because an event came up over this past week that I really wanted to share and I had a bit of fun with. Many of you will remember, or if not, should know this name, Sakura Saunders. Sakura Saunders has been a thorn in the side of just about everything legitimate here in Toronto for a very long time. She's one of the primary, if not the most foremost protesters against the mining industry, between her and another lady named Rachel Small here in Toronto. And between the two of them, there's pretty much nothing in the mining industry that they don't protest against. It's not that they have to, just that they have nothing better to do with their time. So they protest this, they protest that. Barrick Gold, as one example, has been the baby of Sakura Saunders for unknown number of years now. That's something that has been her personal mission and her personal life's work. So imagine the surprise to a lot of people when Barrick Gold held its annual general meeting this year. But as opposed to years previous, Sakura Saunders never advertised that this year. I mean, obviously everybody knows about it and found out about it, but this is the first time she never advertised it. And that in itself was a bit of an eye-opener because she always makes a great big production out of it, gloating about this, gloating about that, and how she wants to make this a huge event, so on and so forth. But this year, nothing. Not so much as a peep. Now, let's go back a little bit. Sakura Saunders doesn't live in Toronto anymore. In fact, she lives out in Halifax. Has lived there for probably about the past 2 years. She went to Halifax about 2 years ago because a great big void became available, or I guess manifested itself rather, in the Halifax area when another of the country's former top professional protesters from the Canadian Federation of Students, Rebecca Rose, basically just stepped out of the picture, and hence this huge void came up. So along comes Sakura Saunders and Darius Marucci, whatever the hell he wants to call himself. They were basically told to make the way out there and set up shop. So they did. Now that of course never stops Sakura from traveling all over the place. She certainly does that quite a bit. And that leads us to the Barrick Gold protest. Sakura Saunders, of course, was also in Toronto for the May Day protest. That's a big communist rally where all the communists want to smash things and do what communists do in support of communism during on and about May the 1st. So Sakura decided that this was going to be her great stand to show up here, protest communism, or protest democracy rather, capitalism, and show her love and support for the communist regime of places like Venezuela and Cuba, probably North Korea for all I know. And of course, that was on May the 1st, and on May the 7th, which is a Tuesday, Barrick Gold has their annual general meeting. Barrick Gold normally held a general meeting down at the Metro Convention Center, which was a few blocks away from their world headquarters office in downtown Toronto. This year, of course, they decided that they wanted to be a little closer to home. So they held their annual general meeting literally just downstairs from their head office in a much more private conference area. That didn't stop Sakura Saunders, and while nobody knew about it because, like I said, she didn't advertise it, if you start to read between the lines here, I mean, you knew she was going to show up. It was just a matter of how many people were going to show up. Well, sure enough, she showed up with about 10 or so of her most loyal and most idiotic supporters, the ones who have no jobs, know nothing, because all they do is protest all day. So they showed up making a great big scene. I'm going to post a video on that towards the end of this so you can have a look. But it was really quite funny, because there she was thinking that, well, nobody was expected to show up but her, because she never advertised it. But I have to tell you guys, you should have seen the look on her face when she saw me. As a matter of fact, a few people saw me there. Dave Vassey's ex-girlfriend, Lana Goldberg. She saw me, and actually she went away. She left after she saw me. She was so disgusted. Another person who was there, and this was actually really comical, was Sakura's sort of right-hand person in Toronto, a lady named Rachel Small. Small in several sense, in that, sort of small-bodied, small brain, actually almost no brain. And she stands all of maybe, and I'm going to be generous here, at 5'2". Okay, let's face it, I'm no giant here, at 5'6". But here was a funny part. She actually figured that she was going to be able to stand in front of me and block me from filming. Well, all I have to do is just look over her hair, or the top of her head, and it's not like she has any effect on me. But there she thought that standing in front of me is somehow going to change the course of history, and it will immediately stop me from doing what I do best, and that's filming these idiots. Well, I guess actually I've got some great footage, and like I said, you're going to see that in a couple minutes here. Rachel, do yourself a favor. A couple things. One, you're only 5'2". You're not going to block anybody who's more than 5'3". Get over it. Secondly, and I point this out with respect, take a bath. You stink. Your clothes stink. It would really behoove you to, take your annual shower. And it looks like you've missed your annual shower about a year ago. So do yourself a favor. Take a friggin' bath. Anyway, so there's Sakura yelling and screaming with her band of idiots, telling me how the whole world, how Marigold is such an evil company. And listen, I'm not going to tell you that they're the best company in the world, because listen, every company is a corporation. They're in the business of making money, and sometimes they don't always go about it doing the best way. I'm not saying Marigold is perfect. They're not saying they're perfect, but they're not this evil corporation that Sakura Saunders wants you to believe that they are. But she has nothing better to do with her time. She gets paid to protest. Go ahead, let her protest. Problem is that she has no idea what she's protesting, as usual. So I'm going to leave you with a video that I shot of her, and watch who shows up here. Well, we'll show you a couple people there. You'll have her. Lana Goldberg is there, but like I said, she ran off the minute she saw me. She couldn't take it. I guess memories of Dave Vassey are still lingering in her head, and his confrontations with me. So don't worry, Lana, I haven't forgotten about you. You're on the next video. Oh yeah, then we have the two popes, or whatever they call themselves this week, from the Anglican Church over on Augusta Avenue there. Maggie Helwig and Andrew Budgie. They're there, of course. They're always there. And while they didn't get arrested this time, it's kind of bad, because it's kind of fun watching Maggie Helwig get marched off the stage, almost frog marched, if you will, in handcuffs, as she holds her head high somehow. But it didn't happen this time. You got Rachel Soley over there doing her yelling and screaming. You've got Alan Listener, who's doing some videoing over there. Probably another dance for people. It's really quite funny. However, it's interesting that this time security over at Marigold wasn't putting up with any of her crap. They knew she was coming. They didn't advertise. She didn't advertise it, but they knew she was coming, and they were going for her. They gave her a chance to say her thing. Let her make her 5 minutes worth of noise, and then basically frog marched her and her whole cohort, bunch of idiots, out of the building, completely out of the facility. Nice to see, finally. Police didn't even bother having to show up, because, well, they wouldn't have seen anything. She was in and out fairly quickly. But you can't fool undercover kitty, Sakura. I'm everywhere. So get used to it, get over it, and I'll see you at the next one. So for those who want to know what a real moron looks like, watch this video and you'll see a whole bunch of them. Have a nice day. See you in the next video. Dave Vassey's going to be a nice star in this one. Lana, you want to be a star? I'll put you in the video too. Catch you guys later and have a good one.
Their mind waves.
They dump their mind waves.
Directly into river systems.
Directly into river systems.
A practice ban. In almost every country in the world.
In almost every country in the world.
Here, people do not have access.
Here, people do not have access
To clean water.
to clean water.
Barren mine sites.
Barren mine sites
In PNG and Tanzania.
in PNG and Tanzania
Are militarized sites.
are militarized sites
Where locals are killed and raped.
where locals are killed and raped
By mine security.
by mine security.
These victims
These victims
have no access
have no access
to equitable remedies.
remedies.
Even though these abuses
Even though these abuses
are well documented
are well documented
by Amnesty International,
by Amnesty International,
Harvard and Columbia Law Schools,
Harvard and Columbia Law Schools,
Mining Watch Canada,
Mining Watch Canada,
and many more.
and many more.
In the Dominican Republic,
In the Dominican Republic,
villagers live in fear
villagers live in fear
of the tailings dam collapsing
of the tailings dam collapsing
on 600 families.
on 600 families.
They say the water is already
They say the water is already
leaching from the dam.
leaching from the dam.
They say that a haze from the mine
They say that haze from the mine
smells foul and gives them headaches and nausea.
smells foul and gives them headaches and nausea.
It irritates their eyes
It irritates their eyes
and makes their throats sore.
and makes their throats sore.
In both the Dominican Republic
In both the Dominican Republic
and Papua New Guinea,
and Papua New Guinea,
their main demand is to be resettled away from the mine.
their main demand is to be resettled away from the mine.
Is that so much to ask?
Is that so much to ask?
To be moved away from the land with gold?
To be moved away from the land with gold
To land that can be farmed and raise animals on?
to land that could be farmed and raise animals on,
Like they did before Merrick arrived.
like they did before